So we're here today. We're talking about what would be the what we look for in choosing pre-bonsai. Hopefully, you're able to look at trees that have a little bit of age to them, and something that has been hopefully pre-trained, so you have a lot to work with. Now we picked these three Juniper prostrata trees just to kind of give you a little variety to think about as we're discussing different characteristics. So it's kind of, we're going to go through kind of like a checklist to see what are good things that we should look for as you're going through, ravaging through a nursery on your own. Okay, so the first one, the first characteristic you want to kind of look for is good nabari. Often we look at the trunk movement. If there's some movement, that probably catches our eye first. But so you're going through the nursery looking for your tree, you go, oh wow, that's got some movement in it. Let's see if it has some nice nabari. And nabari is the root spread of the tree. What's important to think about is that you could have a good root spread, but you might have this big, massive root off to one side. And then what it does is it almost throws off the balance of roots all around the other side. So it's nice, ideal, if you could have nice, sort of even root spread, and it makes the tree look stronger and more established. Okay, so this particular tree here, we talked about the movement, the nabari, and then we kind of look at, see, okay, well, first of all, is it healthy? The foliage looks good. Okay, it's a good candidate. And then maybe possibly where there might be your apex ending up. This is kind of a neat part of the tree because even down here we have some natural gen on the root system, old root system, and then some shari, some pretty shari there. So this is sort of a bad part where there's a long branch without foliage, but we could graft in foliage there tighter, so that could be alleviated. But it has beautiful movement, and then possibly the apex could be in this area here. Okay. This next one, a little bit more robust tree. I'm going to set this down so it doesn't fall down on its own. This tree here has really pretty nabari down at the base. There's some natural gin that could be cleaned up. And as far as taper, a tree looks much bigger in girth when the height of the tree is shorter, right? So the shorter you can make the tree, it'll make this trunk and base look bigger. So this has a good movement, and possibly in this limb here, it could be the apex. It kind of goes back and then it comes forward, and then it shortens the tree dramatically if it's below my arm here, and it'll make that trunk stand out. Okay, so this is really a pretty good example. Thirdly, this tree here is sort of more. The nabari is not the best. It has a big, kind of a big big root off to one side, which is sort of dominating the whole thing. I haven't got a chance to look down here, but I'm sure there's some smaller roots down in this area. The good thing about this tree is it has some more traditional movement in, like, say, a moyogi style tree, or shotgun style, or a slant style, where this base here has this tight bends in it. It has pretty good movement despite the lack of great nabari, and I would say, and it has some nice low branches to work with and bring down. Being that it's a conifer, we always think of the branch structure as being pine tree style, which is descending branches, and so it has a lot to work with. Possibly the apex could even end up possibly in this area, like this. Your crown could be maybe here. So that really accentuates the base to make it look bigger. I don't know, a lot of these trees are great. I don't know which one exactly I would line. I kind of like this middle one here because it does have good taper and I could bring this trunk down and the apex down to a manageable level. It has some lower branches that we could bring down to fill this empty space. And the rootage is really good. I think the first one, this first one would be a spectacular Bunjin style tree because of the natural shari and gin it has already. And you could create more as it goes through. Oh, and besides, you know, we mentioned gin and shari. You want to, if you have it on the tree, you don't want it just in one spot. You know, you kind of want to have it sort of throughout, so that it looks like nature shaped this tree, and not someone that just created a bonsai with shari on one side. Okay, so the whole tree is exposed to the same elements. But I don't know, I kind of like this tree too because it has, it's more delicate, but it's not always mass of the tree. It's placement and movement. So this might be one of my favorite ones out of this group. And let's see if there's anything else I need to. Oh, I guess that's all I have.